I think your best CFOs step out of just your CFO role and can really be more of a collaborator with the rest of the business. So we had a situation at I was part of an IT services company where we did a lot of staffing projects and we did a lot of, full projects for customers. And we, in particular, had this one telecommunications company that we were doing a ton of business for, mostly project work related. And we had a meeting with them, and one of their stakeholders, pretty senior level person in their IT group, said that within their organization, they were trying to make most of their costs as variable as possible. Pretty sound thing to do, right? They're a Fortune 500 company. They want to make everything as variable as possible. So when they need to tighten their belts, they have the ability to tighten their belts, right? So it makes perfect sense. So as you would imagine, their biggest expense was people. So what they started to do with us is they wanted to outsource as many of their IT projects as possible to not have the headcount that if then the project ended, they didn't have to terminate 150 people. They just didn't renew the contract and they didn't have the PR nightmare and what have you. So we were a partner of theirs helping them execute on this strategy. It's going great, generating a lot of business for them, helping them achieve their objectives. So, win-win. We then had a meeting and they were telling me that, we're trying to even be more variable. So I asked them, well, what are your next, if people is your major cost, and so they said rent is our next largest expense. So we are trying to figure out ways to reduce our rent. So, and it wasn't just my idea, but we came back to them with a plan that said, okay, maybe as we're delivering these projects, because we would deliver these projects, but we would send them 100 people to sit in their facility and deliver the project in their premise. So we said, well, what if we delivered you the people and we rented the space that was near your facility so you could come and supervise or check in? And so then when the project's over, you don't have the fixed cost of the rent. And so what we did is we took let's say it was $50 an hour a person for the project, and that's how we would bid it out. We said it's no longer 50, it's 70. But the 70 includes the rent, it includes PCs, it includes blah, 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 everything. So you get a project now that is turnkey and you don't need the space and everything else. They loved the idea, and we wound up selling that to them on multiple projects. And we took our revenue from, tens of millions of dollars, like maybe let's say 15 million, to like 115 million in the course of a year and a half. And so I think that creativity of sitting down and trying to figure out the art of the possible and then weighing the risks, because now we had the rent, right? So weighing those risks against the benefits, I think is a role that finance can play, but it has to be in concert with the rest of the organization. And in that example, it really worked out well because we were able to deliver really successful projects for the customer. They were super happy because they were able to achieve the two goals they were looking for, maybe three: successful projects, but then also variable cost on their people, and then variable cost on another huge fixed cost previously, rent. So win-win. And, it turned out to be very good for our company as well.
This podcast is made possible by Ledge.